If there's one thing that I can say about e-commerce and selling online, it's that it's constantly changing. And if you don't keep up, you'll get left behind. E-commerce has revolutionized the way we shop and do business, and today online shopping is pretty much the norm. So in this video, I'm going to highlight and explain the latest developments in the e-commerce industry and how they're shaping the future of shopping. So first off, there's going to be an increased focus on personalized experiences. Now, what does this mean exactly? It means tailoring the shopping journey for each individual shopper based on their preferences, behavior, and purchase history. This can include product recommendations, special promotions, custom product offers, and more. So let me give you a couple examples of how we do this in my store to illustrate my points. So first off, we primarily use email marketing to segment our list on autopilot. And at a very basic level, we segment all of our customers based on what they shop for or bought and only send relevant products. For example, you wouldn't want to send out an email promoting dresses for your male clientele. Then we place our customers into several different buckets. The first bucket are those people who are on the list that have not purchased yet. And for these people, we tend to send deeper discounts just to get them to open up their wallets. Because I know that if they make a single purchase, it'll be a heck of a lot easier to make them buy again. So we put out all the stops for these visitors just to get them to buy anything, even something small. The second bucket are people who purchased just once but haven't made their second purchase yet. Now for this group of people, they already know and like our brand. Otherwise, they wouldn't have opened up their wallets in the first place. So for this bucket, we don't overly discount because it's not necessary. Instead, we try to get a second sale by cross-selling, offering special perks like a loyalty program, or with some very light discounting. Now, according to studies, getting a customer to buy a second time is 65% easier than getting that first sale. So why is this second purchase important? Because it establishes a pattern. It indicates customer satisfaction and loyalty, leading to potentially more repeat purchases and a higher likelihood of customer referrals. Now, the next bucket of customers are what we call brand enthusiasts. These are people who have bought more than once, purchase somewhat regularly, but they don't spend that much money each time. Now, for these people, our goal is to get them to up their average order value. So sometimes we'll create special bundles for these customers based on what they bought. We'll also email these folks more often because they clearly like our company and probably don't mind getting extra email. We'll tease special perks and we'll cross-sell products based on what they bought. So for example, in our store, we sell matching cocktail napkins, tea napkins, and dinner napkins. Now, if a customer buys cocktail napkins, but not dinner napkins, we'll send them an email automatically to encourage them to buy the matching set. Now, if someone buys a particular style of handkerchief, we'll also provide automatic recommendations for other hankies similar to the one that they purchased. Basically, we want our brand enthusiasts to spend more money each time. Now, the final bucket of customers are our most valuable, and we refer to them as our whales. These are the customers who buy often and spend a lot of money. So for our store, our whales are event and wedding planners. Now for these folks, we treat them like royalty. Instead of excessive discounting, we give them exclusive perks. For example, we'll call them up on the phone, offer them a dedicated rep who will personally handle their orders. In addition, if they have any product requests, we'll see if we can custom source product just for them. These are our best customers and we want to keep them happy. Now, if all this segmentation and treating different customers differently sounds intimidating to you, it can all be automated using a tool called Klaviyo. Klaviyo knows what products customers looked at and what they bought. It also knows their purchase frequency and their average order value, which allows you to predict their lifetime value. And once you create your customer segments and create your automated email sequences, all this stuff that I just talked about literally happens on autopilot. Except for the phone call part. We treat our whales differently. Personalized shopping experience are where it's at if you want to excel in e-commerce this year. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you sign up for my free 6-day mini course below. Another trend is the continued rise of SMS marketing. Last year, 62% of customers subscribed to receive texts from businesses, and this is growing at 12% year over year. Most consumers are subscribed to receive texts from at least 1 to 5 businesses for shipping notifications, special offers, and promo codes. Now you might be thinking to yourself, I would never subscribe to a business for text, but I'm willing to bet that you've interacted with a business via SMS already in some shape or form. What about the last restaurant that you ate at? Did they text you a reservation reminder? Did they then follow up later with a text to remind you to come back? SMS has the highest open and click rates out of any advertising medium with a 98% open rate and 36% click rates. Now for my own store, I'm getting between 15 to 20% click-through rates, and I'm getting 10x the engagement of email. 61% of customers actually want the ability to have text conversations with businesses as well. In fact, most customers actually prefer text over a phone call. Right now, only 55% of businesses are using text message marketing, but it's growing 27% year over year. So if your business is not utilizing text, then you will fall behind. Another trend is omnichannel shopping. Basically what this means is that you want to be everywhere. Now I know for a fact that a lot of you watching this are selling either on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, or your own shop. In order to maximize your sales, you want to be selling your products in as many different places as possible. Now some of you guys are probably hearing this and thinking to yourself, I only buy on Amazon, so why shouldn't I just focus on Amazon? And my answer is, you should never create strategies based on your own behavior. Here are the facts. Some people prefer to shop on Amazon. Some people prefer to shop at boutiques. Some people like going to the mall. Everyone has different preferences and circumstances, and you'll get more sales if you sell in more places. Now, if this sounds intimidating to you, there's actually many tools and plugins that will help you do this. For example, there are a series of plugins that will allow you to instantly list products from your Shopify store on Amazon and eBay at the push of a button. And the inventory is automatically synced as well. Here's something else that you need to be aware of. 70% of the shoppers on Amazon will Google the brand first before making a purchase. Now, because Amazon has become a breeding ground of counterfeit merchandise and cheap Chinese junk, people actually double check the website now. This is why having your own website is so important today as well. So what's funny is that whenever I talk about the need to have your own website, I always attract a bunch of trolls who claim that running a website is just too hard and that selling on platforms like Etsy, Amazon, or eBay are much easier. And it's true. Selling on established marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, or Etsy are easier to get started. But listen closely. When something is easy to do, it will attract a ton of competition. There are no barriers to entry, so you have to adopt a completely different mindset. Instead of always going for what's easy, why not try something a little bit harder? Because if it's harder, then less people will do it, and you'll have a better chance for success. So bottom line, selling on Amazon, eBay, and Etsy gets harder and harder every single year. On Amazon especially, there are tons of people out there to sabotage you as well. You absolutely need to own your own website that you control 100%. Now, I'm not saying that you should stop selling on third-party marketplaces, but don't limit yourself to a single platform. Sell on as many places as you can, and don't limit yourself to your own home country. Consider offering your products internationally. Often, what you'll find is that products that are competitive in the US, for example, are much easier to sell in Canada or Australia. Now, for some reason, we get a lot of customers in Australia for our store who don't even bat an eye at the high shipping costs required to ship there. The next trend is that the world today is mobile first. Now, if you look at my traffic stats for my e-commerce store, 76% of my visitors came directly from mobile phones. And to be straight up with you, that number is actually low compared to my friends and colleagues because a good chunk of my clientele is over the age of 55. Now, if you look at my blog over at mywifequitherjob.com, 68% are from mobile. But despite the disparity in stats, people are still designing for desktops first. Now, I've been running my online store course over at profitableonlinestore.com for over a decade now. And part of what I do is give website critiques for students in my class. And I would say that 7 times out of 10, students don't even bother trying to shop on their site on a mobile phone. Mobile commerce is where it's at. It's been like this for years now, and it will only get more mobile going forward. So if you're putting up your e-commerce store right now, design it for a phone first, desktop second. I do most of my shopping on my phone now, and so will most of your customers. Here are just a couple of quick tips. People hate having to type on their phones, so any service where you can automatically import data is crucial. For example, PayPal will import the customer's address so they can check out in one click. Make sure you implement this. This year will also be the rise of social e-commerce. Social e-commerce is the act of using social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok as a direct sales channel. For example, if you go on Instagram right now, you'll often see little bubbles next to products where you can click and buy directly on Instagram. In fact, 35% of Instagram users will make a purchase on the platform this year. TikTok offers a similar shopping feature and drives a ton of sales for e-commerce sellers. Here are just some crazy stats on what TikTok is doing for e-commerce. 2 out of 3 users are likely to buy something while on the platform. 50% of TikTok users has bought something after watching a TikTok. And TikTok users are twice as likely as users of traditional social platforms to recommend a product or service that they found on the app, and 1.5x more successful at convincing others to try the product or service. Now, a colleague of mine makes millions of dollars every year selling katana swords just on TikTok alone. Amazon introduced a service called Amazon Live where you can sell products live on the platform, and it's killing it. My friend Tiffany Ivanovsky makes tens of millions of dollars every year selling live on Facebook. By the way, her shop is called Emma Lou's Boutique. Go on Facebook right now and see her in action. She literally goes live every single day. This year will also be the year of artificial intelligence. Here's how e-commerce merchants are leveraging artificial intelligence. Now, we talked about providing a personalized shopping experience already. Well, stores are already using AI algorithms to analyze customer behavior to suggest products that are relevant and personalized to each customer. You've probably seen this in action. In fact, I've been getting more ads for hair loss and ED because I'm an old Chinese man now. Now, in my store, I use customer service chatbots that provide a first line of defense for support questions and assistance for customers. For example, the number 1 and 2 most asked questions that we get are, where's my order and when will it ship? Well, it makes sense to use a robot to answer these questions automatically. So on our store, we use a chatbot which automatically queries our database and provides shipping and tracking info for customers. There goes 70% of our calls right there. We also use AI to optimize inventory management. Since we import from different countries, the lag time to getting product can often be 2 to 4 months. And this takes planning, which is actually not one of my best character traits. Not a big deal. AI algorithms can help predict demand and optimize your inventory levels to reduce waste and improve efficiency. AI can also help you price your products. There are pricing split test programs that will automatically adjust your prices to find the sweet spot for profitability for the products that you sell. And finally, AI is already helping sellers create effective marketing and advertising campaigns. Right now, we're running Google Performance Max campaigns where you literally just feed Google your products and that's it. And based on its AI learning algorithms, it automatically shows your products to interested parties and you do nothing. Now, as an engineer, I hate the lack of control, but it works. Facebook has a similar technology called advanced shopping campaigns. You literally just give it your catalog and it does the rest on autopilot. And I've been getting a 3x return on ad spend so far with these campaigns without having to constantly refresh my creatives. Now, the final trend is direct mail marketing. Now, there's a saying in business, what's new is old and what's old is new. Direct mail or postcard marketing is making a huge comeback. Remember back in the day when you used to receive Valpak or envelopes full of coupons in the mail? Well, all that died down when email marketing and other forms of advertising came out. Well, now that email and advertising is getting saturated again, direct mail is proliferating. Here's some interesting facts about direct mail marketing that you guys probably don't know about. 70% of consumers say that direct mail is more personal than online advertising. 54% of consumers actually want direct mail from the brands that they like. 42% of recipients read or scan the direct mail that they receive, and direct mail response rates are 5 to 9x higher than other advertising channels. And then finally, 62% of consumers who reacted to direct email actually made a purchase. We recently ran a postcard marketing campaign that yielded a 16.47x return on investment that you can find over here. Bottom line, e-commerce is constantly changing and you have to keep up with the trends. Now that you know what's in store for this year, watch this video for the play-by-play on how I would start an e-commerce business today from complete scratch, step by step. I'll explain everything you need to know from the perspective of a complete beginner.